of all, I created this for myself for my short sale business because Hammer Point, Real Flow. I mean, some of these products, there were some great products to use out there that were quick, that I could get a scope of work, repair cost, create a nice document, send it off to the lender or the BPO for that $50 appraisal that shows up, and so when that went away and they were going to rework it and blah, 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 and software died, it was like, okay, I've been a contractor now. I've got 25 years as a licensed contractor. Okay. So my credibility spans states, years. And also, I build globally all over the world, for Mission Project. We build orphanages, schools, churches. So that experience and knowledge is there. And so it really comes down to, well, what can I do? What can I put together that I can use quickly to replace that? So I can get an accurate repair cost that's itemized, the scope is listed, and even a one-page offer that kicks out that you can send right from the system. So I created it for myself, but then all of a sudden it was like, oh, people see it. Hey, what's that? What are you doing? Can I use that? And so it just quickly became, hey, look, let's offer this to other people. Obviously, it can't be free. We have development costs. We have, full-time developer, blah, blah, blah. So here's the deal. Across the board, man, we have two things you can never screw up in any deal, right? You can teach all kinds of aspects of this business. You can put people in a weekend class, right, and teach them. There's two things you can't screw up. One is ARV, and the other is repair cost. Now, whether you're a wholesaler that's coming to an investor and saying, hey man, here's this house. And they go, great. Well, how much in repairs? I don't know. That's your problem. Or I don't know, $5,000. And they walk in and there's a tree sticking out of the, those kind of things, the wholesalers lose credibility so fast because they have no idea what they're doing. You can teach ARV in a weekend and teach them how to do this and that. But here's the deal. There's one standard by which the entire country operates, and that's the MLS when it comes to ARV. Now, I love PropStream. I love, comparing things like, with you guys, with even, Zillow, Joe McCall was doing that. It's, the Zestimate, but no appraiser comes to the bank and says, hey man, here's my Zestimate and here's my Redfin comps I pulled for you. It doesn't happen. The definition, the defined value is the MLS. So why, when it comes to repair costs, does everybody just pull this number out of their rear end, or they go, figure A, B, or C for this house, or just always figure it's going to be about $20,000 to $30,000 on every house? That's like saying the ARV is the same on every house. It's not the case. So how can I send, this was the question I had to ask. How can I send my bookkeeper to any property and have her accurately get the repair cost without having any knowledge of that I can pass on? And so we've created a checklist system that is based on square footage and other algorithms that are being figured so that you just check the box as you see it. I want you to get in and out of any house in less than 13 minutes without even bringing a tape measure. So now, first objection, always, well, that's great for you where you're at, but it won't work in my state, or it won't work here. And man, I challenge, listen, we have users in all 50 states. I challenge all the time the fact that, look, a can of paint at Lowe's does not cost $400 in San Diego and $40 in, Michigan, okay, in Lansing, Michigan. It's not the case. Taxes might be a little different. Your painter doesn't get paid, $120,000 a year in New Jersey, and then in Ohio they get paid, going back to the Midwest again, they get paid $30,000. It's not the case. The square footage of a house in San Diego is maybe 12,000 square feet, where we're working with 12 to 1,500 square feet, right? Yeah. So as I ask investors all over the country, how does it change? How does it fluctuate? The numbers are all so close. It's alarming, that we're all using these same numbers, because it's our numbers that we know we have to make work for that flip. It's not determined by the market value of us going in and doing a full-blown custom remodel with a remodeling contractor. You know what I mean? We're a lot of times hiring Chuck in the truck, with his plastic level, to do a lot of these projects. So our numbers as investors are our numbers that we live by. And so they're all so close. It's awesome for this product, because now you can get in and get out, hit the checkbox, and trust the numbers, as everything I do is about getting an accurate takedown number. And that's what I call it. look, you can go into any other system. There are CRMs everywhere that will give you thousands of line items, right? Of everything, like, hey, how many linear feet of crown molding go in the kitchen? You're like, I don't care. I just press the kitchen button, okay? Because I'm not going to calculate that. I need to get a takedown number that I can trust, that I know I can get this done with. Now, I may go back and input all the numbers. And first of all, those other CRM systems want you to input all the values. They want you to tell it how many linear feet, how much per linear foot it costs. So
Yeah.
we don't care about any of that. We got to get in and out. And right now in this market, there's 10 other investors that are going to put an offer in. So you have to trust your numbers and have a source that everyone relies on. If it starts with the wholesaler and moves to the investor and moves into the hard money lender, and the hard money lender trusts the same system that we're using all the way down the line that it came from, then they're solid. They trust in the deal.
Yeah.
So sorry, man, I threw up all over you, but
no. Is that, I've got a couple of questions though. So do you have to, someone has to physically be in the house, right? There's no way of calculating this on a virtual level. Someone on the ground, boots on the ground, that's going in to get pictures. That's the person that's going to operate.
so, or, yes, you have to check the boxes. So however you check the boxes, I don't care if you do it in your living room. I don't care if you do it through a FaceTime chat, or I don't care if they just tell you, hey, here's the things that need to be done, with the house. Now, at least you have a checklist too, that you can go through so that you don't miss asking the right questions, or at least have a visual so that you go, oh, that's right. I forgot I have to look at the electrical panel, which, is an obvious answer, but at least it's making you go and look through the things that are the main areas we can't miss. So, but yes, we were sending virtual offers long before COVID hit,
Yeah.
If people in another state, because that's what we do, send me a video, or they even tell me, hey, go on Zillow, I've got the pictures loaded there, I can just use the pictures.
Got it. So you say then, because I do a lot of virtual as well.
Yep.
So you're saying if we have pictures or a walkthrough video, whether it be on Zillow pictures, whether the seller's sending us pictures, whether we have a runner that goes out and gets them things, as soon as we have that, then we can use this to calculate the repairs.
Yep. Easily. I mean, and again, like, even if they want to give you a verbal list, of course, every seller's lying, that.
Yeah,
Right after that.
exactly, yeah.
Hey, does it need any repairs? Not really,
That means full rehab.
right. We're gutting this one to studs. No, and that's great, because grandma's 1970s plastic tiles in the bathroom are awesome, because none of them have chipped or fallen off. They're green. I mean, they look great.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, carry on then. Yeah.
No, you're good, man. I want you to ask questions. I just, I feel like I've just kind of thrown up all over you. This works so well for, we have like, from just guys starting out in the business, hey, I have no idea how to do this, help me, all the way to, we have full teams working in Arizona and Texas, here in Wisconsin and California, where they might have multiple acquisition managers. And so we actually have a master, program where it's, you have, 10 users on an account where you can see all of theirs, but they can't see each other's. So that, you're able to observe, your acquisition team and what they're doing, and check up on that. We have EXP teams, that agent investor relationship that everyone's trying to bridge with the iBuyer programs and all that. I hear the same thing every time. I just talked to Chris Craddock, and he's on Wholesaling Inc. now, and he's done a masterful job of linking those. But he said the same thing everybody else does. Dude, these agents have no idea, when they're bringing these deals to the investors, they don't even want to begin to even try to tell you what repairs are necessary or what the repair costs are. Because they get laughed at, they get told this isn't a deal, well, at least now you have a tool that you can go in and use, and bang, you can trust it. Your investors can trust it, because we're all using the same numbers now.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. Well, let's see it in action then.
You want to see a demo? All right. Yeah. It's, I I love this because, you know, a lot of guys too, when we first get on, you know, it's a first exposure, you know, to the product, and they you know, they don't even ask to see it right away, just because it's really all about teaching. Hey, look, we all need to be on the same page, right? So
Yeah. But we're big on, when we contract virtually, we make sure the numbers work based on the spreads, and then the only thing left to negotiate is the repair cost. So
okay.
it actually opens it up where we say to the seller, well, based on the information that you give us, is this, but when we actually got in, there's a tree going through the roof that you didn't tell us about.
Right,
So we
right,
need a
right.
new roof, we need this, we need that. We'll renegotiate based on the repairs, not on the formula of the deal not working, though, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Okay. So, and again, I'm putting you on the spot, and, you know, it's one of those things where I just say, hey, look, do you have a property you want to look through? Do you have one that, we can do this on another call? We'll do a podcast where,
Yeah.
you know, we'll do one live. Okay. So
Right.
I'm going to, you know, these are all the, you know, properties that are saved right now that you can go back and do history. So I'm going to, first things first, go in and when I'm adding a new property, you know, you're going to basically jump in here, and I'm going
Do you
to
want me to give you an address or not?
what's that?
Do you want me to give you an address or not?
Oh, I mean, you certainly can. Do you know it well enough to know what your repairs were, or just go
No.
through?
Yeah, no, you carry on
Okay.
then. No, I don't.
Right. And we'll do that. I want to do one live with you, because it's so powerful when you hit, and especially one that you know your numbers on, or you've already done, or you've already had a contractor come in. Okay. So
Yeah.
that part this is going to be a tricky one, because we just bought it at the sheriff's sale. Excuse me. So I'm not even going to put a zip in there. Now I want to do this real quick. And again, for the purposes of I just want to show you, since you've never seen the product. So we're not going to focus on exactly, you know, specifics. I just want to give you the overall, and then we'll actually do a property with you. But there is a multiplier that we put in here, repair value multiplier, that we added. So there are different markets in here with the multipliers that we've added. But I highly caution people, look, man, this is just suggested adjustments. Run it first as is, and compare it to what, you know, whether you sit down with a contractor and ask them, you compare it to a house you already did, you compare it to, you know, averages that you're already using, Gavin, you know, like the square footage numbers, and see how close it is. Because now I have proof. Like, if you can come up with a number that's great, that says, oh, it's going to be this, you know, but then I can show you that it's the same number that because you're really good at what you're doing, but I can show you the same number with a broken out scope of work. What, you know, look at the value that I just brought to that, you know, in that social proof. So I recommend not using this. Other times too, I get a lot of banks that contact me for REOs and want, you know, to know, hey, how can we adjust this price? Can I hire you to do REP? Well, I'll put like a 1.3 to 1.5 multiplier on that, because they're not going to pay what we're paying. The banks are going to pay a lot more for that, you know, for those repairs. They don't have our contractors, right? So here's the best part right now. This is all using, we're still going to give you ARV. Okay. But again, I'm wanting you to do your due diligence and enter that here. Okay. So we have a very unique system that stacks multiple, you know, it starts stacking Zillow on top of each other once it finds a good one. So we actually have a key code that you can look up that says, hey, look, you're getting off, yellow, red, just like a stop sign, right? So here's a map. It's showing you all the different ones. It's this is the subject property that it found, built in 1920. It's a 3-1, 850 square feet. And so now, you know, it's getting right away into these first three that, hey, look, man, we're off more than a quarter mile. You know, this is 0.4, 0.5, 0.5. So, you know, right now it's okay to use, you know, getting into that half mile radius. Sometimes comps are having to look at mile, but you see these bedrooms are less. But and this one just really, this one I wouldn't even consider right now because of 75,000. But even if we just took, you know, these first two, average it out based on square footage, 232, the Zestimate's 172. If we were to add that back in, these are staying pretty close. Average sold price 192, Zestimate 172, ARV on square footage 177. I had my broker already run this, and with that average sold of 192, that's really close already. Like, we're easily going to hit that 200 mark. I could even hit 230. I know, if I did like full blown. Okay.
Right.
So I'm just going to put in, for the sake of current market, and there's the Zestimate, and I know that I can get 200 for this house, no problem. All right, with doing my own due diligence. So that 192 number was really close though. All right, so this is what you're going to see. You're going to, real simple, where you're going to stay almost all the time is exterior, interior, and then getting into mechanicals and miscellaneous. Okay, so this is going to force you to look at those components. It's going to force you to look at the roof. You know, if we're going to wait, where you're down in South Carolina, right? So
we do business in Birmingham, Alabama. That's where we do.
So,
like
but my point is, it's a roof, right? Not a roof.
Oh, yeah. And I'm from England, so it's something probably different.
Right.
Roof.
Roof. So, so you're gonna be forced to look at these things. I know for a fact that we are replacing this for sure. Okay. There is a detached 2-car garage as well that we're gonna have to replace. There's exterior painting that we have to do. That's siding, soffit, fascia. No vinyl siding, no new garage door. That was new on there. I always do a light landscaping. It adds $1,000. People, investors forget that all the time. They're running off and buying their own wood chips or cutting the grass, or, you got to make sure you add something for that. It does need one new exterior door. So as you can see, I'm just checking boxes. Okay. Getting into interior now. Now we know that every house is going to need to be painted and floors done, right? Pretty much. If not, then you might as well just put a sign in the yard and call it done. So this does need we're going to add a median kitchen to this with median appliance set right now. It does need 1 full bath and 1 half bath done. And after that, I'm going to add a light framing and drywall repairs. There's no basement finish. And then we're getting into mechanicals. Now I know I'm going through this fast, man, but I'm telling you, this is forcing me to look at everything in the house. We won't get into yet what a GC or a project manager charges right now, but this one actually does have a newer furnace in it. AC does not need a boiler or heat pump. That gets into East Coast as well. Different parts. So I don't need to replumb the whole house, but I am going to add to do the plumbing fixtures, shutoffs, and repairs. So it's a basic number that, you're basically going to replace the fixtures just like you are going to lights. The electrical, same thing. I'm just going to put new switches, receptacles, make it white, and new fixtures on the ceiling. It doesn't need a full new panel or a full rewire. So I am going to add 1 unit of demolition and a dumpster in here. And then also, let's see, it doesn't need permits. I am going to add a final cleaning. I won't need to stage this at all. So we get down to the end, man. This others section is basically, that is for the real, I don't want to say real experience, but more experienced investor. That this is what breaks down where you're not just check boxes, you're actually adding some linear footage. Say you only need to put in so many feet of gutter, or you're only going to replace certain flooring, or you just need a sink, or you just need that's more for like even rental properties, or very specific on what, versus, hey, we're going to do the kitchen, we're going to do the bath, we're going to do the floors, we're going to do the painting. You follow?
Yeah.
So,
do you ever change that percentage? Like, what's the percentage where it says 100%? Is that just in the middle? Hey,
great question, man. Because let's go in here. Let's go back to like interior, or let's go to exterior. So like this painting, honestly, when I saw that, I went, you know what? There is vinyl siding on it. So, there are areas like there's wood, soffit, and fascia still in there. So that needs painted. So I could come in here and I could just go, yeah, we only need to do this. So I reduced it to 50% and done. Yeah. So you can quickly toggle up and down, and you'll do that as you get more experience, you're not going to do that every time. Same thing. Like if you just say, hey, we only need, this one's going to be an easy floor, or whatever. And you just toggle that number up and down. So, and then also this miscellaneous number, it describes that in the scope of work. It's at, this is at 12% right now, okay, of the total. And that's all of the things that I really don't care about, that I'm not going to add right now. Like, call it like, your register HVAC, your register covers, and how many doorknobs or pieces of cabinet hardware, or, all that little stuff that can get you literally sitting at an office calculating and running numbers. We need to get an accurate takedown number that we trust. And so that's going to help us. Now, as you get more experienced, you can dial that down, to a smaller number, and it doesn't need to be at 12%, but that's a good, comfortable number. So when we come down to calculate offers, okay, it's going to come in here. It's going to show us, hey, look, here's where we were at. We were at 200. There's a profit margin, closing costs, holding costs, repairs, and miscellaneous. So cash offer is 97,000 right there. So let's run this real quick with a standard formula. $200,000 times, let's just go 65% minus repairs we had in there, 44,000. So do you use more like a 70% in your area, or is it, I don't, it's just a general maximum allowable offer formula, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
and it's
fine.
different, but and that's usually a little, have to be a little bit more aggressive these days. So we'll go 200,000 times 0.7 minus our repairs of 44,000, and that equals $96,000. Okay. So as you can see, even the 70% formula with the correct repair number in there, look how close we are, but we actually now have that proof, that validity of here's what we're going to put in. And those numbers match almost right on the money, really close. There's also a couple of seller finance options on here as well. But when I go click this, I can push it right into Podio or other CRMs.
A quick question. What about putting a wholesale fee on there?
Yep, there is another. I'll show you another link as well, that we'll go through, because it's robust. That gets into other calculations. So I'll show you that. But let me just show you real quick this PDF, because you can send this right to your contractor without pricing, or you can make it an investor version. But I'm just going to do this for the seller, because I'm sitting there with the seller, or I'm going to email it to them, because I actually carry a printer. It's wireless and battery operated. And so I print out these documents. I can get a signature at the kitchen table. Okay. So I'm going to do the offer, the repair estimate. We didn't fill out the seller net sheet, and then the purchase contract. Now I can fill this out in email, or I can just get in and get this PDF generated. So you can put your own logo, company name, whatever, but it's going to say here, dear homeowner, here's your cash offer. Here's your 2 seller finance options. And then also now we're getting into the full repair list. Okay. And so remember when we just checked that roof box?
Yep.
Now look at, you've got an entire paragraph of a full scope of work of what's going to be done, for that price, for that scope of work. Same thing with painting, flooring. And again, flooring, I know we went through this fast, but I don't care if it's hardwood, LVT, LVP, tile, carpet. This is a flooring number that covers the whole house, that whatever you're going to do. If you want to break that down or get, again, we're talking into the, few hundreds of dollars. Why are we messing around with trying to come up with an exact square footage of every single flooring material? It doesn't make sense. So,
right.
So then when you get down, after it breaks it all down, shows you total repairs, and then also gives you a 1-page purchase agreement that will put that cash number right in there. Okay.
Got it.
So it's awesome because you can send this right there. I've spent over $12,000 on many, many contracts I've looked at and condensed it all down with attorneys into 1 page. You don't have to use it. It's just there if you want to send it.
And can people put their own contracts in this or not?
I will allow that. It's something that, people ask about, and I say yes, but hardly, not many actually do that. So, but we absolutely will take and put your contract in there so that it'll just feed the values into that PDF that you can just email to them or print it out and have them sign it. So here's that wholesale calculator, that you were asking about, where, you can put repairs in, but you can also put a wholesale fee in there. There's also a full, rental calculator where you can add all of the, here's all of the, rents, taxes, insurance, property management, vacancy rates. We're getting into some other cash flow calculations that, asking, hey, is this going to be a wholesale? What is your exit? Is it going to be a cash deal fix and flip? Is it going to be a rental? So this part is really robust and in starting to put that together to really get you a cash on cash number that you can see. So, but yeah, man, that's it in a nutshell. With ARV, getting your repair costs, hitting those check boxes, and getting you that cash price. So
is there an app for it or not?
We had apps about 3 years ago, and really what we found is that most people don't care. They don't use it. Most of these systems like this are mobile friendly anyway on web version. And it's just, man, it takes so much because we constantly do, improve it. We we update numbers. And in order for those apps to keep up with our web version it's too much messing around. And what I've seen is that nobody else has apps out there, in that sense of, good apps and keeping those maintained. So we decided to stay with keep with the web version.
Awesome. No, looks good.
Yep. It's
impressive stuff. Impressive stuff.
The one thing too that I didn't, the one thing that I did not show you too was just how quickly if you go into your parameters section, just how quickly that you can change the when you get into say you take the flooring number or the painting number, right? And you come in and you say, hey, man, I can get my flooring for $2.30 a square foot versus whatever. You can just go in and change that number. If you don't like if that kitchen number, that median, low, or high end kitchen, you want to change that, you can quickly and easily change that in seconds. So it's a great tool for you to sit down with your contractor, you know what I mean? And say, hey, what do you think about these pricing? It's another point of contact that you can take an investor and say, hey, I want to, just pick your brain. Let me take you out to lunch, show you some numbers. Now you're developing that relationship, with that contractor, and he's starting to trust the fact that you're out there using numbers that he trusts as well. So, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
Having that, that contract, not only, the contractor now trusting the wholesaler's pricing and the investor trusting it, and the private money lenders now trusting that you've all used the same system. So.
Got it. Makes sense. Well, that's awesome. So where do people go to get it? Just straight to the website?
Yep. rehabestimatorpro.com.